6 leaves, 3 flowers, 2 roots, 1 handful of seeds, a squeeze of lemon. That is the bowl. The leaves are dandelion, lamb's quarters, purslane, chickweed, tumble mustard, and the soft tips of nettle wilted just enough to take the sting out. The flowers are calendula, violet, and the small yellow buds of wild mustard. The 2 roots are burdock, shaved thin, and a single carrot pulled 20 minutes ago. The handful of seeds is hempseed, raw, with the soft outer hull still on. The lemon is the only thing in the bowl that did not grow within 100 feet of the woman who put it together. Everything else came out of her yard, her neighbor's alley, or the strip of green between her driveway and the curb. The woman is in her 70s. She has been eating a version of this bowl almost every day for more than 40 years. Her name is Brigitte, and she lives in Boulder, Colorado, where she teaches herbal medicine at a small university built into the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Welcome to the Plant Way. My name is Eli, and today we go deep on one bowl. The more I read about how she puts it together and what the plants are doing inside the body, the more I think the bowl is doing more than it looks like it should. I will tell you what is in it, why each plant is there, what the peer-reviewed literature says, how she prepares each one, and where the protocol breaks down for an ordinary person who does not live next door to a master herbalist. We will get to a smaller version you can build in your own yard, balcony, or alley, and we will get to the safety piece, because foraging without it is one of the few topics in plant nutrition where the worst case is genuinely bad. First, the place. Boulder sits at 5,400 feet of elevation against the eastern slope of the Front Range. Brigitte has lived there for over 35 years in a small home with a back garden that behaves more like a working pharmacy than a flower bed. Dandelion is encouraged. Purslane is welcomed. The lamb's quarters most gardeners pull up as a weed is, for her, the first leaf in the bowl. She has taught herbal medicine at Naropa University for nearly 2 decades. She is a founding professional member of the American Herbalist Guild. She has written more than a dozen books, including Rawsome and Dandelion Medicine. She has led wild food walks for more than 4 decades. She said it this way in Boulder Weekly: "What's more local than making a salad from things that were still growing wild in your own backyard an hour ago?" That is the entire pitch of the bowl. Local, wild, our, old, free, now. The leaves. The first leaf is dandelion, not the flower. The young leaf picked before the plant bolts and goes bitter. Taraxacum officinale. The leaf has been eaten as food and medicine across Europe, North Africa, traditional Chinese pharmacopoeia, and the Americas for at least 1,000 years. A single cup of raw chopped dandelion greens carries more than 500% of the daily value of vitamin K, more than 100% of vitamin A, plus vitamin C, calcium, iron, and inulin, a soluble fiber that feeds gut bacteria. The German Commission E monographs cleared dandelion as a diuretic and a digestive bitter. The bitter compounds signal the gallbladder to release bile and the stomach to release acid, the thing the modern American digestive tract has stopped doing well on its own. The second leaf is lamb's quarters, Chenopodium album, wild spinach. A cup cooked delivers more calcium than a cup of milk, more iron than spinach, and a full serving of vitamin A and vitamin C. The Hopi and Navajo gathered it. The medieval English ate it before they had spinach. The third leaf is purslane, Portulaca oleracea, a succulent that grows in the cracks of sidewalks. It has the highest omega-3 content of any green vegetable ever measured. Per gram, purslane contains alpha-linolenic acid at levels higher than any other leafy green tested in a comparison published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Omega-3 is the nutrient the modern American diet is most consistently low in. It tastes lemony and slightly salty, with a crunch like cucumber, the easiest of the wild greens to like the first time. The fourth leaf is chickweed, Stellaria media, delicate, low-growing, with tiny white star-shaped flowers, mild, almost grassy. The traditional Northern European use was for skin irritation, joint stiffness, and as a gentle spring tonic. It carries vitamin C, vitamin A, magnesium, calcium, and a saponin with mild anti-inflammatory effect in lab work. It softens the bowl. The fifth leaf is tumble mustard, Sisymbrium altissimum, great raw. It carries the same glucosinolate compounds that the broccoli and kale literature has linked with cellular detoxification pathways and reduced rates of certain cancers in epidemiological cohorts. The compounds activate phase 2 liver enzymes. The sixth leaf is the soft top of stinging nettle, Urtica dioica. The sting disappears the moment the leaf is heated, frozen, blended, or briefly massaged. Once gone, it is one of the most mineral-dense plants ever measured. Iron, magnesium, calcium, potassium, silica, vitamin K chlorophyll at levels that beat almost every cultivated green. A small trial in Planta Medica recorded measurable improvement in allergy symptoms with freeze-dried nettle leaf, and the European phytotherapy literature on its effect on prostate enlargement in older men is several thousand patients deep. That is the 6 leaves, each one documented, none exotic, none flown in, all growing within a short walk of where she lives. Now, the 3 flowers. The first flower is Calendula, Calendula officinalis, the bright orange marigold. The petals are mildly bitter and have been used in European folk medicine for centuries for wound healing and digestive support. A 2013 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology summarized the laboratory data on its anti-inflammatory compounds. Petals pulled apart by hand and scattered on top. The second flower is the violet, the small purple-blue flower of early spring lawns, edible, vitamin C rich, a traditional cooling herb. The flowers go on whole. The third flower is the small yellow bloom of wild mustard, sharp, peppery, the family of horseradish and wasabi, far milder. A few flowers lift the whole arrangement. Now, the 2 roots. The first root is burdock, Arctium lapa. The Japanese built an entire vegetable around it. They call it gobo. They pickle it, simmer it, slice it thin into miso soup. Burdock carries inulin, the same prebiotic fiber as dandelion. It carries trace minerals from deep soil that shallow-rooted vegetables cannot access. In the bowl, it is shaved thin with a peeler into raw ribbons. The second root is the carrot. Mars pulls it 20 minutes before the salad goes on the plate. She does not wash it under chlorinated tap water. She brushes it off with a clean cloth, because the soil that clings to the surface carries some of the most beneficial soil bacteria the modern food system has scrubbed out of the supply chain. The carotenoids in the carrot are precursors to vitamin A. They are fat-soluble, which is why the bowl is built around a small amount of plant fat. Then the handful of seeds, hempseed, raw, soft-hulled, 3 tablespoons. Hemp protein has the full complement of essential amino acids, a complete protein the way the soybean is. It carries an unusually balanced omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. Mars wrote an entire cookbook about it, the Hemp Nut Health and Cookbook, in 2000. The hemp seed is sprinkled across the top like fine confetti. And then the lemon, one whole lemon, juiced, with the zest grated over the bowl. The acid lifts the bitter compounds and softens them. The vitamin C helps the body absorb the iron in the lamb's quarters and the nettle. No oil in this dressing. The fat, if you want any, comes from a half avocado on the side or from the hemp seed itself, about 33% fat by weight. That is the bowl. Before we go further, the protocol is also written up in our companion guide, The Backyard Plant-Based Pantry, a small printable booklet with photographs, season-by-season harvesting, simple recipes, and the safety protocol. The link is in the description. The cost is set lower than a single bag of organic spring mix. If you want it, it is there. If you do not, the rest of this video is the full protocol on the house. Subscribe to The Plant Way. We tell the stories of people whose food choices, kept up for decades, produced a body the standard American model said was not possible. Back to the bowl. The preparation is most of the protocol. You do not need a recipe card, you need a sequence. First, preparation. Wild greens fresh bowl. Walk the yard with scissors and a shallow basket. Cut, do not pull. Leave the root intact so the plant can grow back. Take only the youngest dandelion leaves before the plant bolts. Cut purslane an inch above the soil and it will grow back. Take the top 6 inches of nettle-wearing gloves. Bring the basket inside. Submerge everything in cold water for 10 seconds. Swirl, lift out. Drain on a clean towel. Cut into postage stamp pieces. Toss in a wide bowl. Squeeze the lemon. Sprinkle the hemp seed. Eat with a wooden spoon. Time, from yard to bowl, under 30 minutes. Second preparation, wilted nettle bowl. The sting is what stops most people from eating it raw. The way around it is to pour water that has just come off the boil over the nettle tops, count to 10, and pour the water off. The sting is gone. The leaf is wilted. The water, if you save it, is a mineral-rich nettle tea you can drink warm. Third preparation, dandelion root coffee. The roots, dug in the fall after the leaves have died back, scrubbed clean, sliced thin, and roasted in a low oven until they smell like coffee. A folk preparation that goes back centuries in Europe. Hot water poured over the roasted root, 10 minutes infusion, strained, drunk warm. A digestive bitter in cup form. Fourth preparation, stem and root noodle. The hollow stems between dandelion leaf and flower, used as a pasta substitute. Toss them with garlic and a small drizzle of olive oil. The same idea works with thin-shaved burdock root. This is the preparation that bridges the wild greens bowl into a warm meal for a winter night. The bowl alone has carried her, in some version, for more than 40 years. Now the safety protocol. Listen carefully. This is not optional. First, positive identification. Do not eat any wild plant you cannot identify with absolute certainty. The most common mistakes: water hemlock confused with wild carrot, false hellebore with wild leek, poison hemlock with parsley, have killed people. Wild plant identification has a learning curve, best learned with a printed field guide for your region, ideally with a teacher who knows the local plants by sight. Second, location. Do not forage from roadsides where lead and exhaust have accumulated, not from lawns where herbicide and pesticide have been used, not from dog parks. not from industrial sites or old farms where heavy metals may remain. The clean places are your own garden if you have not sprayed it, a friend's organic yard, a deliberately maintained urban forager-friendly park, or a well-known wild area away from runoff. Third, introduction. Introduce one new plant at a time. Eat a small amount the first day. Wait 24 hours for any reaction. The first dandelion leaf is one leaf, not a bowl. Fourth, pregnancy and medications. Dandelion is a mild diuretic and may interact with lithium and certain blood pressure medications. Nettle may interact with diabetes medication and blood thinners. If you take prescription medication, are pregnant or nursing, or have a diagnosed medical condition, talk to a clinician familiar with herbal medicine before adding wild plants to a daily routine. Mars herself recommends this. Fifth, children should not forage unsupervised. A 4-year-old who tastes a plant on a walk does not have the judgment to identify it correctly. The walks are wonderful. The unsupervised tasting is not. Sixth, allergies. Pollen-sensitive eaters can react to plants in the daisy family. Watch carefully. Have a plan. The single most common reason people give up wild greens is one bad early experience that could have been prevented with the safety protocol up front. Get a field guide. Walk with someone who knows. The American Herbalist Guild publishes a list of accredited practitioners. Now, the populations. 3 populations have eaten a version of this bowl for centuries. The first is the southern Italian, who eats the wild greens of the hills, chicory, wild fennel, dandelion, rapini, the mistacanza of mixed bitter greens on the table at every spring lunch. The Italians call them herbi spontanei. They are a documented variable in the Mediterranean cohort longevity data. The second is the Korean, which eats namul, seasoned wild greens, at nearly every meal. Cooked, dressed with sesame oil, sometimes garlic, sometimes a small amount of soy. The greens include wild ferns, dandelion leaf, mustard greens, and the soft tips of dozens of other plants. The third is the Highland Andean, which gathers quinoa greens, lamb's quarters, amaranth leaf, and watercress from cold mountain streams. The plant has been with humans on multiple continents for a long time. Now, the objections. First objection, digestion. Wild greens are tough on the gut that has been eating cultivated lettuce for a lifetime. The fiber is denser. The bitterness signals the gallbladder. Start small. 1 leaf the first day, 2 the next. By the end of 2 weeks, the body has produced the bile and the digestive bandwidth to handle a full bowl. Second objection, oxalates. Lamb's quarters and a few of the other greens carry oxalic acid, the same compound that gives spinach its faintly metallic mouthfeel. For most people in normal amounts, this is fine. For people with a history of calcium oxalate kidney stones, high oxalate greens should be eaten cooked rather than raw, and in moderation. Cooking reduces the oxalate content. Pairing with a calcium-rich food in the same meal reduces absorption. Third objection, lectins. The peer-reviewed weight of evidence is that lectins in normal cooked food, in normal amounts, have not been shown to cause harm in the general population. None of the plants in the wild salad are high in the lectins the skeptics worry about. If you have an autoimmune condition and your clinician has put you on a low lectin protocol, follow the clinician. Fourth objection, vitamin B12. B12 is produced by bacteria, and the modern food system has scrubbed most of it out of the supply chain, even for people who eat meat. Any long-term plant-based eater needs to supplement it. A small daily tablet or a fortified food covers the gap. The bowl is otherwise nutritionally complete for nearly every other essential nutrient. The bowl is, by the weight of the published evidence, one of the most nutrient-dense meals you can put on a plate. It is also free. It is growing within walking distance of nearly every house in America, in some translation appropriate to the climate. The bowl in Boulder uses Boulder's plants. The bowl in coastal Georgia would use sea purslane, chickweed, pokeweed, and wild garlic. The bowl in upstate New York would use ramps in the spring and lamb's quarters in the summer. The translation is local. The principle is universal. You cannot buy this bowl in a grocery store. The bowl exists because somebody walked outside. The closest store approximation is a bag of organic spring mix, cultivated dandelion greens, organic baby kale, and organic sprouts. The lemon is the lemon. The hempseed is in the bulk section. Storage. Wild greens do not keep. They are at their best the hour they are picked. Still good for a day sealed in the refrigerator. By day 3 they are limp. The protocol is the picking. The eating is easy. Equipment: a shallow basket, clean herb scissors, gardener's gloves for the nettle, a field guide for your region, a wooden cutting board, a wide ceramic bowl, a wooden spoon, less than a single dinner out. Now, the close. The bowl she eats every day is not a bowl most Americans have ever seen. It is also not a bowl most Americans cannot eat. The plants are growing in the cracks of their sidewalks. The leaves are coming up between the cultivated rows of their gardens. The flowers are scattered through their lawns. The body that has been eating cultivated, washed, bagged, refrigerated salad for 40 years can begin eating a fraction of this bowl tonight by adding 1 wild leaf to 1 cultivated bowl, identifying it correctly first, washing it carefully, and giving the body the small jolt of the bitter compounds that the cultivated palate has stopped seeing. The body responds quickly. Within a week, the digestion shifts. The gallbladder wakes up. The morning energy lifts. By a month, the bowel patterns are different. The skin runs cleaner. By 6 months, the body is running a different baseline. By a year, the baseline is the new normal. By 40 years, the baseline is the body of a woman in her 70s in Boulder, Colorado, who has been writing books and cutting her own salad out of her own yard for as long as any of her students can remember. I will stop short of the bigger claim about what this does over decades, because the cohort data on dedicated wild food eaters is small. The cohort data on bitter greens-rich Mediterranean diets is large, one of the cleanest signals in the longevity literature. The Adventist data on whole food plant-based eating is large, another clean signal. Mars's bowl sits at the intersection. Tell me in the comments what plant is growing in your yard right now that you have been pulling up as a weed. Not as a confession, as a starting point. The bowl begins with the leaf you already have. The protocol begins with the identification. The class begins with the field guide. The kitchen begins with the scissors. The body begins with the first leaf. If you are new here, this is the plant way. We tell the stories of the long-lived bodies that the modern American conversation has been quietly leaving out of its picture, and we walk through the data slowly enough that you can check it yourself. Subscribe if that is the kind of inquiry you want more of. Next week, we look at a man in his 80s who has been eating only the food that grows above ground, the leaves, the seeds, the fruit, the nuts, for 35 years, and whose grip strength, by his last published measurement, was that of an average 45-year-old. We will look at what he eats, what he avoids, and what the small, daily, undramatic decision to keep eating that way for 35 years has done to his body. I will see you then.